Waiting for the black to replace my blue. I do not struggle in your way, because it was my aim to get caught. But daddy long legs, I feel that I'm finally growing weary of waiting to be consumed by you. Give me the first taste. Let it begin. Heaven cannot wait forever. Darling, just start the chase. I'll let you in, but you must make the endeavor. I'm just catching a vibe. I like Fiona Apple. Though I do admit that I became a more positive person after college and really made the switch during college to Regina Spektor as far as my mental health music. Let's see. Yeah, that light. So really this video is just kind of I kind of want to show people a little bit about my spiritual practices. I know people feel oftentimes sort of concerned about, I'm a Christian, let me put it out that way, and I'm an adult onset Christian, so I didn't grow up that way. And so sometimes people in my life express some concern or doubt or confusion about these practices. But I'm pretty steadfast on sticking to these things because of the gifts that it's given me in my mental health. So I just kind of wanted to share and show, it's like a show and tell situation about some of the things that I interact with in order to bring myself internal peace and to engage in my ascension journey and to grow out of fear and into full alignment. So let's see. I'm going to start by shuffling up a little bit with the Wild Offering Oracle deck. They're really cute. They have this adorable, let me put some music on as I catch this vibe. Maybe not the vibe. That'll do. So when I feel anything, restless, abundant, joyful, nervous, anxiety ridden, anything. I'll get out one of my maybe around 30 decks of cards or maybe a stack of them and engage with the physically relaxing process of shuffling, of doing something repetitive, of having control over manipulating something, but also not feeling in control. So it's like I can physically use my body in this way to do this physical activity, which is really good for me. This is a little loud. It's really good for me to have. I'm a neurodiverse person, and so having, excuse me, having that throat chakra open, having access to activities in which I can physically control myself in movement, like shuffling, like stretching or whatever. That's good for me. It's like giving myself a mental massage, right? Because it's hard for me and my brain to work well together sometimes. And so when we cooperate together doing something that doesn't require much from either of us, me, my beinghood, and my mind, when we can cooperate at something like this, it slows and quiets the mind. It stills, right? And so there's all these things that I will, as a spiritual person, kick around in my head, but also all these things as a person of the earth, a human being, that kick around in my head as well. And as I do my humanly wrestling with those things in my mind, it can sometimes, if it's frenzied in there, it can get harder and harder to discern what's just my perception of reality based on some misfires in my brain or what is a warning signal. And so this process of using the cards to like answer my own questions by accessing my higher self, which I believe is in direct connection with my creator. Yeah? What? You need help doing what? Oh, you fell a little behind? Okay, well, Hazel fell a little, yeah, she's been on the channel before. My daughter fell a little behind in her online class. So for just a second, I'm going to go help her. And I'm going to leave you with this card. Solitude. It's pretty appropriate. We'll see if you stick around for a minute while I go help her. Once you embrace the inner divine and your own sacred solitude, the right people arrive at the right time, exactly on schedule, without forcing or chasing. So I'll be right back. I'm going to go help her. I'll see if you're still here. One lone survivor. Thanks for the thumbs up, whoever gave it. Thanks for the likes and the shares and the subscribes. Okay. So, in my personal practices, what I do, thanks, Addison. I appreciate you so much. So, can you hear me okay over the music? Let me know if you can't, and I'll turn the music down. Okay, so the three other cards that fell out of the deck while I was shuffling are Hardship, Service, and Make It God's. So I'm going to read those out loud, and then I'll talk through them as I shuffle the next deck. Hardship. May I embrace what's happening right now, as baffling or painful as it is. Help me, God, to trust where you are guiding me. I am yours. Whew. This was my great-grandmother Hazel's Bible, or Hazel's, that's who my daughter's named for, Belle. And when I was a kid, just like not long before her death, she took me to her cabinet one time when I was visiting her at assisted living, and she told me, I used to like spend the night, and she'd make me like diet root beer floats, which were terrible. We'd play like cards and watch TV, and it was a really sweet relationship. But I guess old people, when they're dying, they want to know what their family members want. So she took me to the cabinet. I couldn't have been more than 7, 8, 9 years old. And she said, look in my cabinet and take what you want. What one thing do you want? And so I picked this bell. And who knew that I would learn later how spiritual bells are and how grounding. And anyway, so that's part of my spiritual practices. Okay, Hardship. We read that one. Service. I'll show you the Hardship card. Isn't that beautiful? No flowers without rain. That's one of the mottos around the house here. Service. You stop using the universe to try to get what you want and start asking love to use you. You offer all and want to be of service. Ironically, many desires become fulfilled without grasping or manipulation. Wow. Because the thing is, like, we can't get in the way of our highest good. We can detour ourselves our entire life, but one way or the other, the divine is going to land us at our highest good, despite our best wishes. We have free will because we get to choose the path that we take. Like, we get to choose the journey, but ultimately, full abundance, full spiritual ascension, all of those things together is where we're going to land. So we get to choose how we spend that time. I like to spend that time in service, like here with you. You're watching this video, hopefully getting something out of it. I have a kid knocking on my door. Yes? I think it's the littler one. He's a Leo. Coronavirus Leo's 3-year-olds is like a bull in a china shop. There's Cheetos covered in black Play-Doh in my house on the floor right now. Don't judge me. Make It God's. Oh, how beautiful. Being like in the forest. Release the idea of my. As soon as you start to say, the money, the relationship, the job, freedom arrives. When there's no grasping, the right actions get shown. Free me from the prison of my, dear Lord. Service, hardship. You're guiding me. I am yours. Like this reading so far is all about getting quiet inside of yourself and becoming God's and seeing what abundance rises out of that, right? Because honestly, you can call God, source, spirit, whatever you want. You can call it whatever you want, whatever your creator is. But if you're here watching this video, there's a good chance to at least suspect that something put you here. And I'm here as an offering to confirm it to you that you are, in fact, here on purpose. I love you because I love me. You and me are the same because we're both of God. Do you understand? We might not get along. Our sun signs might clash or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Our birth charts. But honestly, your worthiness and my worthiness is equal because we are both put here on purpose by God for our own individual reason. And the fabric of humanity does not exist without us. And it does require some commitment to sit down and remind ourselves of that we didn't have to earn our spot here, that we were put here on purpose. And once we free ourselves from having to earn our spot, we deliver ourselves into the opportunity to be of service, to make it God's, to get to glean growth out of hardship. I love that. I love that energy. Woo! I'm not drinking water yet. I kind of drink coffee first, and that's backwards. Do not do as I do. I would drink water first if I was truly living into my full worthiness. But I do switch to water and then stick with it. Where are we going? Someone's knocking on my door again. Yes! What? I can't hear you. What? I'm coming back. Look, I used to kill myself with perfectionism. There's no way 5 years ago me would have shown up on a live and like allowed this to go on while getting up and like helping my kids. I wouldn't even start the live because I would have been like, well, I'm going to get interrupted, so it's not worth starting. Bump that. It's worth starting even if I get interrupted. Like, this is not something you go backwards and lose progress on, right? Once it's out there in the ether, even if we had 3 minutes uninterrupted and I got one message out to one single person who needed to hear it for that day, just to get through that one experience, what's wrong with that? It's free for both of us. It energizes me to be of service, which is like for God. Even though this has been such a hard week for me, my housemate and business partner is out of the house for this week. And she usually helps me with the kids. And so I've been home with the kids by myself, and I'm spoiled to have that kind of help. Let me put it that way. So, but you know, I threw the book of mental health resources at that experience. And ultimately I feel stronger than I did just a few days ago. And normally old me would have been like depressed as fuck, living out my best karmic life, which I still am in certain areas, let's be real. But yeah, I love this deck. It's the postcards from the liminal space. It's a deck that hurts your feelings a little. At least it hurts mine. I can't really speak for you. Money, 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 bitch. Slots. The cloud. I don't know what this means yet. So I'm kind of doing this reading for me, but I'm also doing it for you. We're the collective. You know what I'm saying? If you're watching this and it resonates, it's for you. Don't force it. You don't need to hear that from me, though, do you? You probably watch enough of these things. I know how many I watch. I'm sure I won't forever. I definitely get over readers most of the time. There's a couple that I haven't gotten over ever. I've never been like, ugh, I need a break from them. But for the most part, you know, we all watch what we need to watch while we need to watch it. And then we kind of ascend and we go to source ourselves, and we need less prompting the more we start to understand the signals that are being sent. Because the thing is, it's like having different love languages or different personality types. Like, different types of psychic energy works for different people because we're all like very individual. So like, while bells and smells and singing bowls work for me, does that work for you? Ugh, closed my eyes and I ruined it. Okay. Anyway, I forgot what I was saying. That happens all the time. Oh yeah. We all have to figure out what works for us. I don't think any of those are for us. Yes. If you want uninterrupted content, that's what the Patreon is for. Yes. So, not that you really asked or care, but here, I'll tell you what keeps going on. My baby, who rarely wears clothes, decided he wanted to be a ninja today. And so we had to get creative, and we found some black clothes. One is like a pair of his older sister's pants, and it has some back pockets. And we had this strand of plastic star lights that broke eventually. I mean, they die out, right? But we hoard things that could be useful for other reasons. And by we, I mean mostly me. And my family enables me. But anyway, this strand of lights has these hard plastic stars, and we're always making found art and collages and things like that. It makes media stuff. So it's his Chinese throwing star, his like ninja star is, and anyway, he doesn't know how to use pockets because he doesn't wear clothes, and they're back pockets only because it's, for some reason, they don't think little girls need front pockets. So he's like, Mom, can you help me get the star out of my pocket? Mom, can you help me put the star back in my pocket? That's literally what I keep getting up for. So, okay, what was I feeling confused about? Money, 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 and the cloud. Ooh, the cloud getting in the way of the money because, okay. All right, so when we're going through those hard, difficult times and finding it difficult to be of service because there's almost no energy left in us because this world is so difficult, that cloud is what's getting in the way of our abundance and our manifestation. So I'm interested to see what else comes out because I don't know what to say past that. I'm just so grateful you're here. Thank you so much to the God that created us all, whatever its name is, their name, her name. My name is Ruthie. I'm the creator of Mixtic Readings. I am the co-creator of Creators Coven over on Patreon, along with my buddy Britt, Witch and Wonder on YouTube. And, I'm just trying to use this gift, the spiritual gift that I use just this way. This is what I do for myself. I set this spread up for myself and decided, okay, I'll record and let whoever's watching see. So I have these conversations in my head, right? If there's not a video camera pointing at me, it's a conversation that I'm having between me and Source through cards, right? So it's like, I already discern that that's how these pendulums work, right? It aligns with our internal energy. So like, if I say my name is Ruth, it should go, my direction for yes is back and forth, right? So is my name Ruth? And basically what it's going to do is try to fine tune itself with my energetic answer. See, it's going back and forth now. I'm not really doing anything. I'm just knowing that the answer is yes. What's a no question? For me, yes goes back and forth. For no, it's this way. So it's just like, that's my intuition, right? Like that's how I would have thought it would be. So that's exactly how it was. And that God builds that into us, how we expect things to be for us, that works for us as we evolve through our boundary creation, which happens by stumbling into them and not knowing that there's a boundary there until we realize we have to create one. You know what I'm saying? Am I perfect? This better say no, or I'll think it's broken. Am I perfect? It should be aligning with my subconscious to answer either in the affirmative or the negative. Yeah, no, I'm not perfect. And neither are you, and that's okay. So it just depends. I wait. Fortunately, I've spent hours and hours and hours and hours watching videos, making videos, buying decks, receiving decks as gifts, using them, getting them out to shuffle them, to put them away because like I just don't have it energetically in me to try to read. Basically, I've just been spending 2020 fine-tuning my intuition. Once I realized I had it and that the only way that I would be able to fine-tune it was to practice with it, it became my obsession. It's the first hobby I've ever had. I'm kind of obsessed with myself anyway. Just ask anybody who knows and loves me. So I was that kid who I'd get in the car with my mom when I was a kid, and the first thing I would do is pull down the vanity mirror. in the passenger seat and just like talk about my day while I was looking at myself. Like, who does that? Me, apparently. Let me know in the comments if that resonates. I also used to roll my socks down to my ankles, like in a tube. So, you know, I've only ever discovered one other person I knew for a fact that did that, and she just happens to be my sister-in-law. Like, so, you know, I especially want to look at the ones that went in the garbage. It's like they threw themselves in the trash because they wanted to be the answer, not all these other cards on the floor. That's really cool. I love stuff like that. All right. These are the 3 cards that came out. And these readings are very short in this book, so I'm going to read them to you because it'll be good practice for me too. That's what I do, right? I started making these videos just on a whim. If you look at the very first one, it's crappy. It's like on my teacher.cam from when I was still teaching. Like, it's not good. But it was like I kept getting this hint for 6 months watching these readings while I was studying for myself, right? Because this was my ascension. I didn't give a shit. Like, I wasn't trying to be on YouTube. I just wanted to get the answers for my own life so I could stop being a depressed, like, person. So I started understanding my intuition a little more. I started recognizing some of my anxiety symptoms as warning bells, but I had some rational paranoia, right? Because from a place of trauma, I also didn't, like, some of those reactions were just like fight or flight. But those fight or flight reactions, those feelings inside, resonate for a reason. So we have to kind of like, it's like tempering our base instincts, right? We're trying to figure out how to, right? The 7 deadly sins or whatever, these are just all exaggerated gut instincts. Gluttony, we have to eat to live. Sloth, we have to rest to live. Like, all these things that all of the deadly sins are based on are things like lust. Like, you can't just think that being lustful, like, I'm lustful for my spouse. That's not sin. We made children. That is literally how people are procreated. So, I got worked up over that. So, the cards that came out are Imagining More, A Vision. Interesting. And that's what happens for me, right? I sit down, I rest, I soak in, I ground, I start to imagine, and then the visions come. If I'm not using cards, if I'm not sitting here making a video for you, I'm like in a bathtub staring at the ceiling going like, well, what now, God? And sometimes that's from exasperation, like, I'm bored, what now? Or, I did it, I finished, what now, right? Like, that what now question comes from wanting the answer to come from source. However you get that answer. So that's what this is about for me, is I go to my Bible, I go to God in prayer, I go to the cards, I study in all sorts of ways. And all of these studies are surrounding one thing, which is aligning with the highest good, which is source, right? If God is love, whatever that means, whatever creed you come from, if divinity comes from love and alignment and true, like, righteousness, then all we have to do to imagine get to our highest good is just continue trying to imagine it. And the next right thing will come, right? It's not about doing all the right things right now. It's about doing the right thing right this instant to be prepared for the next right step. I've been listening to Queen Cup Tarot a lot. She's the bomb. Check her out. But so some of these intuitive messages are just confirmations coming through for me based on something I just listened to, right? I wasn't going to do an 11/11 reading. It is 11/12 right now. But the portal energies work for about 72 hours, we know, in either direction, especially right after or right during that. Like, that's kind of how, and that's how ovulation works. People get pregnant on accident all the time, which for me is like so wild. It took so much trying for me that I can't imagine it happening on accident, even though, like, I've always prevented it happening on accident. But you know what I'm saying? I'm not knocking your Catholic religion. If that's for you, that's for you. It's not for me. I own two and I'm through. It's enough. I'm maxed. But that's how ovulation works, right? Like there's just a 3-day window in a cycle in which that egg's going to get fertilized. And, sometimes people don't, in some senses, when we're just in alignment and doing the thing and keeping ourselves healthy and we're ready. Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm going to finish my reading and then I'll be out. All right. If you want to eat pizza cold, you can get it out of the fridge. We're having leftover pizza for lunch. Ezra likes his heated though. So anyway, so imagining more in a vision. We have to clear ourselves, ground ourselves, and allow it to come in. And then here's the other card that popped out. God is a goddess. You can't have the divine masculine without the divine feminine. That's why it irks me when God is always referred to as he. Like, sure, Jesus, we assume, has a penis and identified as a man, which are the two requirements of being a cis man. But like, I'm certain that God proper doesn't just have one genital or another, right? We were all made in God's image. Anyway, this is a tangent. Let me get this little book out. Imagining more. The brain does not register the difference between a lived experience and an imagined one. It is generally agreed upon that the first act in manifestation is to expect the thing you are calling in. Close your eyes and imagine it into reality. And that's what I'm talking about. If we're imagining our highest good, and we also are releasing ourselves to knowing that we can't know all the intricacies of our highest good because that's up to God and not us, but we're co-creating it. Like imagining and accepting those highest goods is the first thing. So if you say I'm a millionaire and you manifest that, I'm sure you can. Good job. It's not the top of my priority list to manifest money, but a lot of people do that and I get it. Like I'm fine with beans and rice if it has to be that way, right? God is going to provide my sustenance because I'm white in the United States of America. Like I'm not going to starve to death. But my priorities for manifestation is mental health because I have been mentally unhealthy so much of my life that it's like of the essence for me to 3330 on the clock. It's more of the essence for me to be mentally healthy than it is to be financially successful. Now, I need a certain amount of financial abundance in order to feel steady. But as a reader, excuse me, I'm really burpy right now. I wonder, maybe this is like I'm on a roll. Like I've never had the burps to confirm things before, but I got the 333 and the burps, so maybe so. But anyway, let me just keep going. I don't even remember what I was talking about. A vision. Deep in your subconscious, deep in a desert, under a brilliant, starlit sky and glowing full moon, you awaken inside of a tent. You walk out into the night, following distant sounds of thunder. You see a bonfire and beside it, an enormous obsidian black scorpion cut open and gushing gold, molten blood. You fall to your knees and bathe your hands in it. You look at your hands. Prophecy will come obscured and symbol when its meaning is beyond verbal language. The message is received, whatever it is, right? When you're getting grounded, it doesn't matter how weird, you're just going to know what that message means. I have a perfect example. I've been on this spiritual ascension journey intentionally for a couple of years, and they're screaming. Intentionally for a couple of years. And just leave that off for now. And this past year in September, this year, my birthday's in October. I'm a Libra. Libra sun, Taurus moon, Sagittarius rising, and my Venus is also in Libra, so I'm a lover. And this year, just in an instant, I got this download that it wasn't like someone was like, well, what's that like? And I was like, well, it was just this like huge paragraphs worth of knowing without having read those words or heard it. It was instantaneous, right? The bottom card says magic is immediate. So I went on my cleanse. I was like abstaining from sex, which I said I'm a Libra. So anyway, I was abstaining from sex. I was abstaining from coffee. I was abstaining from fast food. I was trying not to snack. I was like drinking more water, and I tried drinking tea a bit and all these kinds of things. And I didn't even decide to do that. I just got an instantaneous download that that's what I had to do. All of those things. And so I spent a few days mentally preparing and did it. It was my 33rd birthday on October 9th. And so I gave myself the gift of 33 days of like cleansing my body and getting down to my new, now that I've tempered my spirituality, my mind, I have the wisdom of learned experience, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I gave myself a break from, and thanks coronavirus, I was home and didn't have anywhere to be. I gave myself the gift of taking a break from all of those masks that I had piled on one on top of the other, and looked at the natural state of things. For example, there's those have you ever watched those nail polish videos where they put like thousands of layers of nail polish and then it's like stacked tall on their fingernail? They're weird. Like you've seen one, you've seen them all. But it's kind of like after you take all that nail polish away, there's like just that natural human nail. Looks kind of like this if you have pink skin like me. And, you know, I wanted to strip down to that natural human vessel holding a spirit and figure out what that looked like. And it was great. So now I'm going to read this God as a Goddess card and we'll move on to tarot. It's a long one. How's that? God as a goddess. Like light, let me do some, I just want to make sure that if someone's watching this and needs lip reading that they can. Like light and dark, the separation of the god and goddess is illusory. This language has been passed down to describe the phenomenon that gives animation and form to our world. A father and mother are the god and goddess of their progeny, and the distinction between these energies are as simple as the roles played in such fundamental creation. You are the highest force in the universe to any living thing under your care, just as you are under the care of higher forces. The energy of the god and goddess are archetypal, but the forms they may embody are as varied as the vessels surrounding you. From the ecstatically gentle to the unfathomably brutal, anything made manifest in our physical reality is the work of the god or goddess, which may or may not be you, but always could be. To believe there can be beauty, love, and creation without destruction, chaos, and death, to cast one as divine and the other as malevolent, ensures the alienation of opposites that fundamentally require each other for wholeness. Wow. So I'm going to set the energy for the rest of this reading. I'm going to guinea pig you and me right now. Let me take a slurp. Awkward is my specialty, by the way, in case you didn't know. Last night, I cut up these. I had big note cards, and I cut them into fours and made a deck of blank note cards with all of the cards of the tarot. Yes? Some of it is in a box. Yeah, it's in the box at the bottom of the fridge. You're welcome, sweetie. So these cards, I just made like a full tarot deck of note cards, and I'm going to start studying. I think I'm going to document it and put it on my Patreon, patreon.com/creatorscoven. I have me and the YouTube channel Witch and Wonder are collaborating to Anyway, check it out if you want to. No pressure. There's a lot of free content here, and it's enough. But anyway, I want to get even more. The tarot is so elusive. Like, there's so many different symbols, and I'm always gleaning new meanings for cards and new understandings. So I made blank cards. They're blank front and back, and I'm just going to start. Okay, I'll be right there. I'm almost done. Anyway, as I keep gleaning new meanings, I'm going to make my own deck out of this, and who knows what I'll do with it. But I'll use it a lot. But anyway, the tarot is so difficult. There's so much symbology. There's different meanings for light and dark or up and down. There's just like so many things to consider. And I've learned a lot in the last couple of years as I've like done tarot and read up on my readings and intuitively read and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's still something that requires a lot more study than I've done, and I know I will be for a long time. And so I said all that to say that I'm going to pull one of these cards that I made last night to be the card that I study today in this reading, like to set a tone or an energy for the rest. I'm going to do some Golden Girls Tarot after this. Let me try to sing and then start choking on my spit right away. Okay, Spirit, I hear you. Nobody wants to hear me sing the Golden Girls theme song. 9 of Cups. Ooh. See? I'll fill this in with meanings over time. Let me get this Golden Girls tarot out. Actually, let's do this. Let's get grounded. Let's cleanse and get grounded before. We're going to cleanse the sound, and I'm going to sage the air. I just buy like regular sage from the grocery store and dry it out on my wall. So it's like not white sage, but you can cleanse with anything. I use incense all the time. Okay, so I'm going to run the singing bowl to cleanse the sound of the air. And then I'm going to burn a little sage, and then we'll do this tarot reading wrap up. I'm not great at this. I'm new. This is embarrassing. I'm so much better at it when I'm not doing it on the video. Let's try this one. Thanks for bearing with me on that. Go back to my grocery store sage. I want to get you a good 8 of Pentacles, huh? That card's been following me around in 2020. I'm telling you what. All right. I'm inviting my ancestors in case they didn't get the memo. My great-grandmother Lena, for example. Trying to learn more about her right now. The Strength card. This is so cute. Which is the 8. And that 8 of Pentacles is at the bottom of the deck. It's kind of interesting. And I said I have a little Leo at home. I'm getting through this week. I'm telling you. It's taking 44:22 on the clock. It's taking some time or some strength to get through it. Okay. These Golden Girls deck. The cards are amazing. I love them so much. I was gonna get them, and then I wasn't. I was like, commercialization of the tarot cards, but then I loosened up over time. This is a lot more lighthearted for me than it was at first. First, I was just like trying to solve all of life's mysteries right away with the tarot. And it was like, whoa, bitch, calm down. You can't even digest all of existence at one time, so you might as well just get comfortable with one bite at a time. And I was like, okay, I'll take a bath. 7 of Wands. Oh, 3 of Cups. It came out in reverse. I'll keep it in mind. Aww. Look. Have you ever seen the meme, like, some garbage is okay? It's like Kermit the Frog. I don't know. It's a trash can, and the title is Some Garbage is Okay. We have to take the good and the bad when it comes to human relationships and interdependence. Like, we can't expect anyone else to be any more perfect than us. And even in the ways that we are super judgmental because we're really great in those areas and other people suck at it, if we just turned the wheel of fortune one tick to some other thing that we're horrible at, we wouldn't want anyone to be judging us too harshly for that. Or we would be judging ourselves enough for everyone. We don't need other people's help. So the reason I'm saying that is sometimes this three of cups energy is like third party, but sometimes it's like celebration with friends. And for me, with the 7 of Wands and the Strength card, I'm kind of getting a vibe that it's like a little bit of all of that. There's like energetic problems in interpersonal relationships. Okay, here's what I'm getting. Oh, it's 46 on the clock. 8. Okay. So here's the thing. People can sometimes suck and still be worth it to have them in our lives, right? Like, we have to, Queen of Swords, we got to know when to hold them and know when to fold them. Sometimes we have karmic lessons to learn with people we aren't going to cut out of our life afterward. And it's the discernment and ascension process is about figuring out what we do need to cut, what holds us back. And that doesn't mean that it wasn't good to begin with. It means like it's no longer of service to us. Thank you so much for your service to me in the past. You are no longer of service. You may be dismissed, right? And that's where this sharp blade of the Queen of Swords comes in. The Queen of Swords has a like swift, sharp blade, but that's mercy. Right? The Queen of Swords doesn't want to drag out pain any longer than she wants to experience it either. So I'm a Libra. This is very Libra energy. Obviously, I feel for her because it's like, I don't want to cut you out unless I have to. And if I cut you out, it's honestly for both of our best good. Like, allow us to learn our karmic lessons and move forward and prosper. And that's a hard lesson learned because honestly, I feel really good about doing that for other people. But when people do it to me, I don't like it. My high school sweetheart doesn't want to be friends with me. I don't like it. I wish it were different, but here we are. We all make our choices. We make our mistakes. We make our decisions, and they lead us to our highest good. Even if it feels like a detour, there was a lot of heavy lessons I had to learn. And that karmic cycle took me over a decade, and a lot of grace from that person to move forward. So thank you. You know who you are. You're certainly not watching this, but I'm going to put it out in the energy. Thank you for what you have taught me. So I really made that up. I mean, honestly, this is all about me. We're all the same. Like, our energies are so entwined. Our collective consciousness is so interwoven with each other. Let's see what the last messages are. I'm like excited to go outside after this. Like, what? It's mid-November. I have some tomatoes on my first ever tomato plants. They're sprouting. There's no way they're going to survive the birds and squirrels around here and raccoons and possums and everything that lives on my corner. But it was really exciting to get to see that happen. And the Knight of Swords, it came out like sort of in reverse. Let me meditate on that for a minute. Try and formulate this message into words so that it's concise. Queen of Swords knows when to hold them, knows when to fold them, right? Keeps that sword swift and sharpened with grace and mercy. And when the best energetic outcome is a split, she makes that choice. But sometimes she's unsure. She's in what felt like this 3 of Cups situation, this celebratory energy. She feels her defenses popping up from past experiences because things aren't perfect, because humans aren't perfect. And then we have to remember to have strength, but the strength to do what? The strength to cut off or the strength to listen to the other perspective. This is the Knight of Swords. So the Queen of Swords is like, I'm strong and I'm emotionally vulnerable because I'm the queen and I can handle what I seek ultimately is the highest good, which equates to the highest truth, right? And this Knight of Swords says, I'm on your team. Look at me. I'm charging forward for the same truth as you. We're just having conflict here. So let's work through it. And when someone is like that, when someone takes initiative to work through things, then you realize, we're on the same team. We're trying to achieve the same goals. Now, if you stand up like this and they like are putting up their dukes at you, like I would suggest a different outcome. But like that Nine of Cups came off on this card, right? That Nine of Cups is like really far along the path of emotional fulfillment, really far along the path of closing off an emotional cycle, karmic cycle that we no longer have to live. So what the challenge is in the Nine of Cups energy is to use our strength and use our discernment. Wrong card. Use our strength and use our discernment with this Queen of Swords energy, this Judgment energy, to detach ourselves from whatever is preventing us from getting to that 10th cup and detach ourselves from whatever's trying to pour our cups out so that we'll go backwards, because that's not what we need. Does that mean we won't have hiccups with the interpersonal relationships of our lives? No. We're going to have conflict. That's healthy and that's natural. We need that for ascension. We have to butt up against things to ascend past them. We have to find our boundaries by stumbling over them first, and then have those brave, delicate, vulnerable situations or conversations that allow us to change our life for the better and allow us to reframe our experience. Five of Pentacles in reverse, King of Wands, Page of Wands. No, they were all in the reverse, so I'm going to take them upright. We have to feel this dejected energy. We can't get past the 5 if we stay dependent on other people. We have to get dependent on ourselves and on our source. And we have to be cast out in that energy of the 5 of Pentacles. It's not like really cast out. It's like leaving that energy behind. I'm at 5 of Pentacles now. I'm halfway to abundance. Now that I see that I'm halfway there, it's much easier to make the rest of this journey. I'm going to walk forward. I have my walking stick. I'm ready. I have everything that I need. And then when I get there, I'll be able to rest in that energy. This is not swift. This page, normally page energy is really swift, but I don't get a swift energy from Sophia here, right? Like, we're not in Sicily 1933. This is a slow moving energy. I think that's what the 1111 portal is really about, to round all the way back to the original point of this post. It's like, we did all the fast moving work. Now we have to rest. We have to mentally sort through. We need to slow down with fresh eyes, because page is fresh energy. The knight, normally I see Knights of Wands. Oh, that's interesting. Didn't the Knight of Wands come out? Yeah. Oh no, that's the Swords. Okay, it didn't. That was the Swords. But normally the pages, like, it's about motion. It's about movement. It's about that kind of thing. But I think this is really slow because it's so internal, because we have to be meticulous. We can't take any of this stuff back with us. It's like the lint trap of life, the 5 of Pentacles, right? It's collecting all the lint of our life and expelling it so that we're a nice, clean, fresh, hot towel on a winter morning. Okay, and once we get there, like, the motion will be so steady. Like, we'll be calm, centered, and aligned, and feel no hurry and no rush, because we know we'll get there when we get there, because when we get there, it's supposed to be when we get there, and the divine is going to make sure that happens, no matter how much we get in our own way. It's not about taking away our free will. It's about allowing us to experience our free will while assuring that we're on a trajectory that will get us to our highest good. Why would we be created if our highest good was not of access to us? That's silly. Okay? So that's basically what I have here. I so appreciate the 1 like and 2 visitors I have here. If you're interested in seeing more content, please check out my channel. If you're interested in seeing extended content or having access to the paid content from Witch and Wonder or from this channel, patreon.com/creatorscoven, all one word. You can find Mixtic readings on Instagram and Facebook. I'm always posting cool spiritual content. My Facebook page is really good, in my opinion, because I spend a lot of time and energy watching things that I think are ascension worthy. And like, I don't watch readings that don't resonate for me, and I don't watch readings, I don't cross watch, and I don't, like, all that stuff has been really toxic for me. So when I watch readings, I'm looking for information for how to be my highest self or get in tune with my highest self and how to ascend. And so that's the kind of content that I share there at the Mixtic Readings Facebook page. But in any case, if you would be so kind as to smash that like button, to subscribe to this channel, to share it out, because honestly, I think I really am delivering messages that would benefit other people to hear. And the best way to get those messages out is word of mouth. So if you made it this far and you're seeing this plea, please do share and subscribe and like, if you think that other people could use this message. Even a personal one-to-one share to someone you think could really use what I've said here today would mean that God and I co-created exactly what we were meant to. And I appreciate it so much. So thank you for everything. Thank you so much, Addison. I really appreciate it. Be blessed. Have a great day. I'm sure I'll be doing more of these. I just found out I could live without 1,000 subscribers, so I'm into it. I'm going to go eat some cold pizza with my kids. I hope you're blessed. Bye-bye.